You may know someone, or maybe you are someone, who feels like masturbation has become more than a private habit. At first, it may seem harmless, a way to relax, a way to escape stress, but then it starts happening more often. Not because the person always wants it, sometimes because they feel anxious, lonely, bored, rejected, overwhelmed, and afterward they may feel guilt, shame, tiredness, or disappointment in themselves. When any behavior becomes hard to control, repeated despite negative consequences, and used mainly to regulate emotions, it usually means something deeper is happening. Here are 7 psychological reasons some people masturbate too much. Reason 1. It becomes emotional regulation. Many people use pleasure to change their emotional state. When stress rises, the brain looks for quick relief. The reward system releases dopamine, which is involved in motivation, anticipation, and seeking reward. This does not mean dopamine is bad. It means the brain learns, when I feel bad, this gives me relief fast. Over time, masturbation may become less about desire and more about escaping tension. The person is not only chasing pleasure, they are trying to calm a nervous system that does not know another way to settle down. Reason 2. It becomes avoidance coping. Avoidance coping happens when someone reduces discomfort by escaping the problem instead of facing it. A difficult conversation, a deadline, a painful memory, a feeling of failure, a fear of rejection. Instead of dealing with the discomfort directly, the person enters a private loop where the outside world disappears for a while. The problem is that avoidance feels helpful, but it often strengthens anxiety later. The task is still there. The loneliness is still there. The conflict is still there. So the brain returns to the same shortcut again. Reason 3. Loneliness turns into a substitute for connection. Human beings are wired for closeness. When someone feels emotionally unseen, unwanted, or disconnected, the body may search for comfort wherever it can find it. Masturbation can become a substitute for intimacy, especially when real vulnerability feels risky. The person may not only want physical release, they may want warmth, attention, safety, or the feeling of being desired. Attachment theory helps explain this. When emotional connection feels uncertain, people may seek soothing behaviors that do not require rejection risk. But the relief can feel hollow, because the deeper need was not only sensation, it was connection. Reason 4. Shame creates the cycle. Shame is one of the most powerful forces behind compulsive behavior. The person does it, then feels guilty, then promises to stop, then feels stressed by the guilt, then uses the same behavior again to escape the shame. This creates a loop. Trigger, habit, relief, shame, more pressure, repeat. Psychologist Brené Brown has often described shame as the fear of being unworthy of connection. And that is why shame does not usually heal behavior. It often hides it. When someone believes, something is wrong with me, they may isolate more, and isolation feeds the habit. Reason 5. Novelty trains the brain to want more. For many people, the issue is not masturbation alone, but the endless novelty connected to sexual content online. The brain is naturally attracted to novelty, new images, new scenes, new stimulation, new anticipation. This can make the reward system keep searching rather than feeling satisfied. Psychologists call this reinforcement. A behavior becomes stronger when it repeatedly gives a rewarding result. And when the reward is quick, private, and always available, the habit can become automatic. The person may start needing more stimulation to feel the same level of relief because the brain adapts. Reason 6. It becomes a response to emotional numbness. Some people do not do it because they feel too much. They do it because they feel too little. Emotional numbness can happen after stress, depression, burnout, rejection, or long periods of loneliness. When the person feels disconnected from life, masturbation may become a way to feel alive for a moment, a temporary signal that the body can still feel something. But this can become painful because the short emotional spike is followed by emptiness again. The real issue may not be desire. It may be disconnection from meaning, relationships, purpose, or the body's natural emotional rhythm. Reason 7. The habit becomes tied to identity and control. When someone repeatedly fails to stop, they may begin identifying with the problem. They think, this is who I am. I have no discipline. I cannot control myself. This belief makes change harder. Psychologist Albert Bandura's idea of self-efficacy is useful here. Self-efficacy means the belief that you can influence your own behavior. When people lose that belief, they stop trying with confidence. So healing is not only about stopping a behavior, it is about rebuilding trust with yourself. The important question is not, how do I punish myself into stopping? It is, what is this habit doing for me emotionally? Is it soothing anxiety, avoiding responsibility, replacing connection, escaping shame, fighting numbness? The answer matters because the behavior is serving a function. And if you remove the behavior without addressing the function, the mind will search for another escape. Healing begins with curiosity, not hatred. Start by noticing the trigger before the urge. Was it stress, boredom, loneliness, rejection, anger, exhaustion? Then build one replacement pause. Go for a walk. Call someone. Journal for 5 minutes. Breathe slowly. Leave the room. Put the phone away. Do one small task that returns you to real life. Not because distraction fixes everything, but because every pause teaches the brain, I have another option. And if the behavior feels completely out of control, causes distress, damages relationships, affects work, or feels impossible to manage alone, professional help can matter. Therapists who understand compulsive sexual behavior, anxiety, shame, and emotional regulation can help without judgment, because the goal is not to hate your body. The goal is to understand your mind. Masturbation itself is not automatically a problem, but when it becomes the main way someone handles pain, loneliness, stress, or emptiness, it is no longer just a habit. It is a signal that something inside needs care. And healing begins when the person stops asking, "What is wrong with me?" and starts asking, "What pain am I trying not to feel?" If this video connected with you, comment which reason felt most true. And if you enjoy deep psychology content like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more videos about human behavior, emotions, self-awareness, and the hidden patterns of the mind. See you in the next one.